Apologize.
All right. I need everybody to unmute, be ready to answer my questions. Mr. Hernandez, Mr. Hogan's, you're muted right now.
I'm right here. I'm back, Judge.
All right, thank you. Gentlemen, would you please raise your right hands? Now I'm referring to Mr. Hogan's and Mr. Hernandez. Do each of you solemnly swear that in this proceeding, the information and responses you submit will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Mr. Hogan's.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. May I put your hand down? Mr. Hernandez.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You may put your hand down. Gentlemen, it's my understanding that you both have worked out a plea bargain with the state concerning charges that are pending against you. Mr. Hernandez, yours is a charge of DWI with a blood alcohol content of 0.15 or higher. That's the original arrest. And Mr. Hogan's, yours is unlawfully carrying a weapon. Is that with a motor vehicle? I didn't notice. Ms. Haas?
It is, Judge.
All right. Now, each of you has made an agreement, and before we go into that agreement and discuss it, I need to inform each of you that you have certain particular rights and protections. The first right that I need to inform you of is that you have, each of you individually, and in your own case, has a right to remain silent. That means you don't have to make any kind of statement. You don't have to answer questions. You don't have to submit written paperwork that has your signature, especially papers that admit or confess to wrongdoing. Do you understand you have the right to remain silent, Mr. Hernandez?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hogan's?
Yes, sir.
You each have the right to a jury trial. That means that each of you, with your attorney and participating with the state, could select for your own case 6 citizens from a pool of disinterested citizens to hear all the evidence, to see the witnesses and whatever materials are submitted in deciding whether you are not guilty or whether you have been proven guilty. And those 6 people would make that choice. That's the right to a jury trial. You have the right to confront witnesses. What that means is if you decide to go to trial, the state will have to try and prove you guilty. And that would be done by submitting witnesses to testify. You, each of you and your attorney, would have the right to question, cross-examine, or challenge any witness that would testify. That's called the right of confrontation. You each would have the right to appeal. When your case is finished, each of you alone, or your attorney alone, or the 2 of you, each of you with your respective attorney, could demand that a higher court review the official record of this proceeding and the evidence. The official records being prepared in each of your cases by the court reporter, Kayleen Rivera. You also need to be aware that the appeal is somewhat technical, and you have to be careful because the appeal requires particular documents and information. It also requires that you be aware of and comply with time limitations. But nonetheless, it is an important right, the right to appeal. You also have the right to demand that this proceeding in each of your cases respectively be conducted in the open public courtroom. Because of the COVID pandemic, we're not doing that, but we are doing it by what's called video conference. And in order to do that, you have to review and sign a document each of you has done respectively titled Defendant's Consent to Video Conference. Now, did each of you review and sign such a document? Mr. Hogan's?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hernandez?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, there's another critical document each of you has, and there's several documents that we will refer to in this proceeding. Did each of you review your particular document with your own attorney and understand the document before you signed it? Mr. Hernandez,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hoagans.
Yes, sir.
In particular, I'm referring to the document that identifies each of you respectively and by name, case number, and court number. And then it also identifies the fact that you are aware and have and consent or acknowledge that you've been informed of your particular rights and protections. It also, that same document includes informing you that the deal you've made with the state is not binding on me as a judge. As a judge, I have the authority and responsibility to decide yes or no on your plea bargain. I also have the right to decide your punishment. And by law, I have to stay within the range of punishment for your particular offense to which you plead. I can give you a punishment that's greater than what you agreed to. However, if I reject your plea bargain, or if I give you a punishment that's greater than what you agreed to, in either one of those two cases, the law would allow you to start all over again, and nothing that you signed or anything that you said up till now would be used against you. That's part of that same document. You understand that document, and did you sign it, Mr. Hoagans,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hernandez?
Yes, sir.
All right. Another critical document is a declaration or certification by me as a judge. In order to proceed with a plea bargain, you each individually, respectively, give up your right to appeal. And I have a document that has your signature that I certify to each of you that because you have made a deal, a plea bargain, you're giving up, you do not have a right of appeal. Is that clear, Mr. Hernandez?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hoagans?
Yes, sir.
All right, each of you, I'm sure, has applied for probation. That application, did you see and understand what you were telling me by signing that application? Mr. Hoagans,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hernandez?
Yes, sir.
A probation document, an agreement, you're signing an agreement that is a written, legal, binding agreement, a deal, a contract between you and this court. And that agreement, for one, says that any kind of jail term that you will receive will be suspended. Now, what kind of probation we get or you get depends upon the deal that you've made. So state, is Mr. Hernandez going to have regular probation or deferred?
Mr. Hernandez is going to have regular probation.
Okay. And
Apologies,
Mr.
actually, it was deferred and it was supposed to be obstruction of a highway, Your Honor.
I'm sorry,
12,
on Mr. Hernandez,
yes, Your Honor.
what is it now?
Obstruction of a highway, Your Honor, and it should be 12 months deferred.
Okay, that's not what Ms. Haas just informed me. Ms. Haas, where are we on this?
I'll have to go check, but that's not the paperwork or what I see reflected on the paperwork that was signed by the defense attorney. Let me go check.
And I apologize, I think I put DWI, but it should have been obstruction on the actual charge. It was supposed to have been changed to an obstruction
Okay.
as of November the
We're gonna have to
17th.
come- We're gonna have to come back to that. What about Mr. Hoagans?
That's supposed to be deferred, Your Honor.
All right. And we'll complete Mr. Hogan's plea. Mr. Hoagans, a deferred adjudication is a very beneficial type of probation. It is a plea wherein I will not enter a finding of guilt and will not convict you at this point. If you live up to 100% of the conditions of supervision, every bit of it, then this charge that you plead to will be dismissed and you're not convicted of it, if you fail or refuse to live up to 100%, then at that point, the state may ask me to give you official notice, bring you in for a hearing, and if the evidence, in my opinion, is sufficient under law, I will at that point convict you. And that will follow you the rest of your life. And then you're looking at 100% of the range of punishment for that charge for which you pled. Now, State, tell me what the basic agreement will be with Mr. Hogan's.
Yes, Your Honor, the agreement is for 8 months deferred adjudication.
And will that be to unlawfully carrying, Class A?
Yes, Your Honor, there's no motions.
All right.
So
8 months deferred,
yes, a $300 fine.
300, 1, 2, 3.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
24 hours community service. Forfeiture of the weapon to the state, to the DA's office. DOEP,
Sorry,
DOEP, drug offender
I
education.
got you. Yes.
Okay. And gun safety course.
All right. Mr. Reynolds, is this your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. Hogan's, is this your understanding of the agreement?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Hogan's, how did you come by that weapon? Did you buy it somewhere?
Yeah, basically. I bought it at a I bought it basically at a like not like an auction, but like I went to a gun show and they
Uh-huh.
showed me.
All right. What kind of weapon is it? Tell me about it.
It's a Colt 1911. It's a 38 Super. I know it's silver with a wooden handle and it has a black like rubber grip on it.
Packmire types?
Hmm?
Okay. All right. So it's a Colt, you said?
Yeah, Colt 1911.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How much you pay for it?
About $400.
And this is your agreement to have it forfeited to the DA's office?
Yes, sir.
All right. To the charge of unlawfully carrying a weapon in a motor vehicle, what is your official plea, sir?
Guilty. Well, I don't. Yeah, I guess I don't know what he told me I was supposed to say. Sorry.
Mr. Reynolds, you want to help your client out? What is he pleading?
Yes, Judge. I believe we agreed for him to plead no contest, Judge.
All right. Ms. Haas, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. A plea of no contest is considered a guilty plea in this court. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
And did anyone threaten you, intimidate you, or promise you anything other than the plea bargain in exchange for your plea of no contest?
No.
All right. Do you have children, sir?
No.
And how do you make a living? What is your income?
I currently, because I haven't been able to find a job, I just do side work with my girlfriend's grandma's maid service.
And how much are you making on a regular basis?
Like 400 a week.
Okay. All right. I accept the agreement as recommended by the state. I grant you 8 months deferred adjudication. You are fined $300. You will perform 24 hours of community service restitution. You will forfeit the weapon to the DA's office. you will participate in and complete the drug offender education program, and you will complete a gun safety course. Your supervisory fee will be $29 a month. Are there any
Wait,
questions,
sir?
are there any questions, Mr. Hogan?
What is a, you said a supervisory fee?
Yes, sir. You're going to be
Right.
supervised by the probation department. You'll pay $29 a month to them.
Okay. And like how, do you know when I would have to be like down there to like meet up with them? Cause I don't have like a really like good way of getting down there.
You're talking about getting over to the courthouse so you can have your thumbprint placed on the documents?
Yeah.
Well, you're going to have to come in by bus, by somebody giving you a ride, Uber, taxi.
Well, I was saying like when is at the latest so I could try to get all this done like now.
You have 1 week to come in to the courthouse, to the office of County Court at Law Number 5. You'll be required to do that. That law requires you to do that. And before you leave this meeting, this hearing, there's a young lady by the name of Maricela Luna. You can see her there. She will meet with you and get you started on the probation program. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Don't leave. You need to meet with her. She's going to start you up. By the way, probation will read to you the conditions you're going to have to live by for the next 8 months. If you live up to them, I will dismiss this case and you're through. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good luck to you. All right, Mr. Sheffield. Now you're back to renegotiating or getting this matter cleared up. Do you all need to go? You and Ms. Haas need to go into breakout and get this straightened out, or what? Because you've got two very distinct positions. You're believing you have deferred adjudication, she says, and apparently you've signed documents saying otherwise.
Your Honor, it's my understanding that when we had a Zoom hearing with you on the 17th of November, that I had an agreement with Catherine Pollard regarding a obstruction of a highway for 12 months with certain conditions. And I've relayed that to Ashley about the conditions. And I think she's trying to check with Ms. Pollard to verify that, Judge. Now, I apologize. I do believe I put on there on the paperwork DWI. I meant to put obstruction of a highway.
All right, well, then
which I would orally ask to orally amend that, Your Honor.
all right, so do we have to recall this or what, Patty? Where are we on this? Ms. Haas?
I'm trying to confirm that offer with Ms. Pollard, but all I could do is just email her and haven't heard anything back. My only issue is that the plea paperwork, which indicates a conviction for a DWI, was signed on December 3rd. So I'm confused, but I'll try to confirm it, but I think best would be to recall it for now.
All right, so we want to recall it for next week or what?
No. You can't next week, Judge.
Okay. Oh, that's right. I won't be here.